Righty ho! Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. And welcome back to another Vector 3 live stream on Voron V0 modifications with some sponsors, which I have to let you know about. So they are go. A big thank you to Big Tree Tech, Bondtech and Printy Please for sponsoring live streams on Vector 3D. You can find out more via the links in the video description. Righty ho then. So it's time that we carry on from where we left off yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Doesn't just time go in all sorts of weird ways? So let's start by summarizing what we've done so far. So first episode, we kind of just stripped down the entire printer down to this kind of, not this, down to kind of its bare frame in the bed motion Z-axis, and now, well, that was first episode. Second episode, we did the kirigami bed mod, so that's all nicely installed now. And then what did we do? LGX, so Bondtech LGX extruder on the front here, and this looks very optimistic for being much smoother and better than the original afterburner, well, mini afterburner, I guess. Mine didn't go so well first time, so this looks like a really good optimistic upgrade for me. And well, obviously with that we did all the belts and stuff. Still need to do tension and stuff on those, but that's pretty much ready to go almost. Apart from that, we then did last episode, got all the electronics installed. It's not tidy yet. I'll do some cable management. I've got some clips. They've not printed very well, but I've got some clips, and the plan is to stick those on. They're the same ones I used on the rat rig, but I'm not going to drill through the panel this time. I'm just going to try sticking them on with tape, the VHB tape. Hopefully not too much, just enough that they stick, but could potentially maybe remove them later if needed, but probably not going to need to. So today we're going to carry on with enclosure. So obviously the Voron V0 as a kit from LDO, which is where I got it originally, is a fully enclosed printer. It has this top hat that goes on the top, and then enclosure panels that go around the sides. Something a bit like this. Anyway, I've got some modifications to do to this. To add a hinge to this top hat, because otherwise, normally it's screwed down permanently and can be quite difficult to access the extruder like that. So you've got to kind of reach up over here, and it's just a little bit annoying. And we've got a rear door. So again, accessing electronics hopefully much easier with a door. That's pretty much it. That's all we've got to do. Just that. Hopefully just that. So I think the first thing to do will be to add some screws, add some nuts. So my door panel is kind of a modification of the front door panel. Obviously I just kind of rotated it around the middle of the printer, so the hinge is then this side, because it's normally, yeah, opposite corner. So it hinges up out of here, and it will use pretty much all the same parts. I've modified them slightly because I've kept the rear panel the same, and the front's very slightly different, so it's mostly the same, but not quite. But in order to have some magnets for the door, I need to get some screws into here. There's some nuts into here. Wow, my words are a little bit mixed up today. I've just eaten a big dinner as well, so apologies if I have to pause. Anyway. Oh. Yes, in order to hold the little magnet parts for the door, I need to just add some square nuts in the side here. I believe it's going to be 4 in total. 2 for the top magnets and 2 for the bottom magnets, although probably don't really need all the magnets, but that's what we're going to do. 3, 4. Scooch those up. And then just place the foot back on the base. Now, right, these are the door parts. I've reprinted a lot of the door parts as well, because originally I put VHB tape on all the like clips that hold in the doors, because that's what you do on the 2.4, and I kind of assumed it would be the same for this. Turns out it's not. You don't need them at all. So it ended up just like bending all the clips as I tightened them on. And from a distance, like on camera, you couldn't really notice that it didn't look great. But afterwards, it was really obvious that all the clamps were all kind of a bit buckled. So just for my own peace of mind, I'm going to be... I think I've reprinted all the clips. I might have missed some, but should have got at least most of them. And then the other ones I can add in at any point. It's pretty easy to add in the outside bits. So if you're interested in the STL files for these, obviously Voron's open source, so I've open sourced all the modifications as well. Any that I've designed are on my GitHub, links down below the sponsor stuff. So if you want the files that I've modified, they're all there. Yes. So some of these are for the top hats, some of these are for the door. So for the rear handle, because on the back of the printer you also have the spool holder, which sticks out like this. You can't put a handle like here that's this thick, because it's going to take up a good portion of your spool holder. Now you could probably extend the whole thing outwards a bit, but it's going to be a bit of a pain to do that. And it might end up making the printer a bit back heavy. Nah, probably not. That's not going to be relevant. But yeah, I just wanted to keep this the same now, because I've got this longer one which I've modified for cardboard spools. But I've made this thinner door handle. Now it's nowhere near as thick as this one, so you don't get the same sort of grip on it or anything, but it's just enough to kind of put maybe fingernails and stuff under the edge, just a tip of your finger, which should be enough to open the door. But it's very, very thin, so it doesn't take up any space. It doesn't intrude into the space where the spool is. So to do this, we need some magnets and some tape. We don't need the tape actually yet. The big question is whether to build with these mods in the first place. I think most of these mods that I've done so far are probably worth doing. Maybe not the x-axis, as in the linear rail change. That's more of a replacement than a mod. But I think the rest of them are almost certainly worth doing. Especially things like control board. Like there's no reason not to get this instead of the older SKR. So I definitely do that. And the LGX is undoubtedly an improvement over the original. Ooh, well, will be for me anyway. The print quality that I managed to get was not fantastic. As in the print quality of the parts that I built the printer out of, rather than, you know what I mean. let's actually put the camera in the right place so you can see what I'm doing. All right, that's kind of the point of being here. I'm going to go nuts and just glue everything on. Maybe not a bad shout. No, so that I still have forgotten to link the mod for the nuts. This is my fault. Should this be? I think I've put those wrong with it. Whoa! So these are going to go on the back here, and those are going to mount. They're going to hold the door handle from the other side, like through the panel. Don't you just love magnets? Stick to flipping everything. It's good when you want them to, but it's annoying when you don't want them to. We need some appropriate screws. I don't know quite what length we need, so I'm just going to make a guess. That's going to be 8. Is that too long? 8 looks like it should be good. Excuse me. This is the downside of streaming after I eat dinner. I just end up hiccuping the whole time. Okay, position not too important right this second. We'll get a final placement later when we put the door handle and stuff on. It'll be somewhere sort of there maybe. Why was the other one super duper easy and this one I can't do it at all? There we go. That's probably going to end up right down here. Great until a toddler eats them. Yes, fortunately no toddlers around here. I don't mean like in the local area, I mean in my home. Oh, Kyle, I missed your comment earlier. You're welcome. Squaring the frame is not always an easy thing, so I'm glad you managed to get it sorted. I've also reprinted this handle. I think it looks nice. Now, I've kind of forgotten which are the pieces for the front door and which are the pieces for the back door, because I'm going to reattach the front door pieces too, I think was the plan. Darn VHB tape. I didn't buy a new front door. I only bought the sides. So let's work out which pieces go where. That's the next challenge. And a challenge it will be. So the middle pieces are fine, they're all the same. It's these corners that are all a little bit different. Right, so that's a plain corner, that's got nothing else on it. That's the handle. I think these are the door ones, the rear door ones. That's bottom hinge, that's top hinge, that's also top hinge. Which one of those looks nicer? Probably this one. So that's front door, we'll keep that one for the back door. So I think back, back, back. This has got to be a bottom hinge. So, no, that doesn't make sense. What's this piece? Oh, of course, this is the other side of the actual main hinge. So that's top hinge. And then that's bottom hinge. No. Had a bit of thinking time there because I'm not sure if the panel is an appropriate thickness. Let's check. I think my panel's going to be too thick to... I don't know, it seems to be the same, so it should work. Rear door panel. It does require a little bit of reconfiguring, but not a lot. Not a lot. So there's a long screw for these hinges. Can't remember how long. As long as it's long enough to go through there, it doesn't matter too much. Might not have spare ones or many. Only need two though, I suppose. Is that going to be long enough? Yeah, 35. I think that should be long enough. There's one. Oh, we only need one. The bottom one's much shorter, isn't it? Don't need anything like that length for that. What have we got in here that we can use? Do we have any mildly long screws here? In 3x25. Still pretty long, really. It's too long, but should be okay. long as it doesn't crack the part, that's the one thing I don't want. We'll just be as gentle as possible. Oh yes, the wire stripper jigs. They've been so helpful. Quite a few people have purchased them. I've not heard back from anyone. Presumably that's a good thing. I think if people were upset that they couldn't get it working, then they'd make themselves known probably. So the fact that I've not heard much, probably a good thing. No news is good news, as I say. So that just goes to there. That then is... that's there. Okay, so that is the rear door pieces. That's set there. Corner, 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 corner. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Right. And then we've re-got more hinge pieces. I don't know why I've reprinted so many hinge pieces. I've got enough for like half a dozen doors. Oh, that's another hinge piece. Why did I get so carried away with printing hinge pieces? And I've only got like 2 normal corners. Oh, maybe that's all I need now that I've filled everything with this. Right. Let's try and get this door mounted. I think I'm going to bring this down. The number of people, it seems to be really low. Is YouTube not telling people that it's live or something? We had like 90, 100 people on the first one in the middle of the week. And then the weekend ones are normally more busy and there's less people. It makes no sense. I bet it's YouTube messing around with how they're suggesting videos and it's just decided, oh no, I can't be bothered to suggest this one. Anyway, stop moaning. Yes, this is going to be interesting. I might try and use, I think I've got some double-sided tape that's thinner than this. I might try and use that if I can find it. Yes, here we go. 3M clear-sided double tape. Clear-sided double tape. Yeah, let's use some clear-sided double tape. Alternatively, clear double-sided tape is also available. So this is 3M, so it should also still be super, super sticky. Oh, okay. I wasn't aware there was another Voron stream going on at the same time. Oops, it isn't. I don't think there's really, I mean, it's very limited for space to try and put drag chains in a V0. I could, I suppose, if there's available mods for it, but I know it would be like me to put that kind of thing on. It is a safety thing. Not on this occasion, though. Before I stick that, I should probably actually get this positioned on here. Oh, where's all the... There should be a little bag with all the hinge pieces in somewhere that I took off, but I cannot see it anywhere. It's hiding. Here it is. The only reason is there's lots and lots of screws in here which I'm going to be needing. So I know what kind of lengths I need to be looking at using. 195. I bet most of the people that would have been here are there. It's disappointing. But oh well. That's too long. If we now put the bottom hinge, let's put a bit of tape on here too. We need these in the middle. Now I'm going to have to take these off again probably at some point because I've got to get the panel on underneath them. But because I'm going to stick the hinges onto the door, I just need to put these pieces in position so I can get them stuck, the hinges stuck in the right place, and then we can fiddle around with stuff after that. Right. A bit concerned this might not fit very well. We'll find out in just a minute. Like a glove. Couldn't have worked much better, to be honest. What more could you possibly ask for? I've just realised actually we can take the screws out of this one. Screws? Why am I getting screws and washers so mixed up today? This is ridiculous. Oh, this is attached to that, isn't it? Might be more trouble than it's worth to remove these nuts, but I'm doing it now, so. It's a weird noise, but it's fine. Oh dear. So now the goal is to get this in the right place. Then we need to somehow get these magnets into here without them all flipping over. What are the chances? Slim to none. Oh, I got that way too narrow. Fool. Damn it. How are we going to do this? Close. I don't know what 247 Printing's V0.1 mod is. Oh, I did see the side cooling. Oh, yeah, I think I have seen that one actually then, yeah. No, 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 no. Is down there a good place for it? Seems weird having it right low, but I want it higher really. I want it higher because I don't want the panel vibrating. That's the one thing I need to make sure I avoid. I mean, I can probably put a small piece of foam on the top corner if it does, but I think we'll be better off in the long run avoiding that where possible. No, 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 no. No. My cries of desperation. Yay, magnets. I think it's because I didn't orientate these top ones very well, so they're facing in such a way that they very much want to flip over and attach to each other, which is of course the opposite of what I want. No, nothing will, it shouldn't interrupt the filament at all. It's very, very narrow. The edge of the spool holder sticks out further than the door handle, so. No, you fucking, excuse my French. Oh, I've really screwed myself over on this one. No, it's done it immediately. No, stop it! How does it keep coming out so quickly? Whew. Why the spool on the back? Don't know really. That's the default position, I think. Why is that not? I mean, I guess this can attach kind of anywhere. It could go on this side. I just need the PTFE tube in the other way. I just had it worked nicely with the guide that's built in to have it in the place where I had it. And it's so light and easy to move around anyway, like getting to the back is not difficult. Damn. That's a lot quicker than it used to be. Now we can cover up the corners with these additional pieces. Oh, it's that that's rubbing because that thing I've just put on. It's a bit above the corner, otherwise it rubs. That, ladies and gentlemen, is oh, have I not printed? I've not printed the longer spool holder for this yet. I designed it and not actually printed the blooming thing. What a nitwit. I did one for the Voron 2.4. I just forgot to print the smaller one for this one. What a nincompoop. Well, Probably still stands. Is a door. It's a miracle why it wasn't like that to begin with, to be honest, considering how easy that it really is to do. Hopefully not. We'll find out how much it vibrates when we start printing. That might be when we find out why it wasn't done originally. Oh dear. Right, let's do a quick sponsor segment. This video is sponsored by BTT Tech, Bondtech and Printy Please. The SKR Pico is a brand new control board from BTT Tech that, despite its tiny size, packs quite the punch, making it an ideal fit for a small form factor 3D printer like the Voron V0.1. A Raspberry Pi RP2040 chip is used as the main controller, with TMC 2209 stepper drivers for the X, Y, Z and E axis, with 2 plugs to support dual Z printers. The built-in heatsink gives a computer motherboard kind of styling and helps to cool the drivers a little bit too. Clipper has been considered in the design as well. A TPS 5450 gives up to 5 amps continuous current at 5 volts for a Raspberry Pi, and the included cable makes for easy installation via UART. There's also a replaceable fuse, thermistor short circuit protection, Japanese Murata capacitors, USB-C, and it matches the Raspberry Pi's footprint. You can get yours or find out more via the link in the description. The LGX Lite is a tiny new extruder from Bondtech, which implements their large gear design to provide increased filament grip. On the top, the filament pre-tension lever provides consistent and repeatable filament engagement, while the open sides gives access to all the gears, allowing for easy maintenance. 4 mounting patterns using M3 nuts provides plenty of mounting options, so its compact, light design and use of NEMA 14 stepper motor make it a great contender for direct drive on high-performance 3D printers. Find your local reseller via the link in the description. UK-based Printy Please specialises in parts and upgrades for 3D printers like the Voron V0 and 2.4. The kirigami bed, sun-on fans, titanium backers and spherical bearings are just some examples of the range of specialist parts available. Check out their shop via the link below. So, the next thing I think is going to be suitable to do now is the top hat hinge, and I've just realised that it's going to interfere with the handles that I was going to put on. Never mind. At least I think it will, unless we put the handles on upside down. No, that's not going to work because it clamps the panel. Never mind, we're going to do the top hat hinge and forget about the little handles. So, there's 2 mods here. One of them is the hinge, the second one is RGBs. So I've got this strip of many RGB LEDs wired up for a 3-pin connection. And I've got some little mounts and we've got some pieces here. So let me show you what we have. So this first set of pieces, these are very much inspired by the baffles mod that I've got on my Voron. So the LED strap strip will fit in here. There's a little hole at the end. And then the baffles will prevent light going too much either out the back, well, basically stop the light going out the front. It just looks nice and tidy, stops blinding you when you look in your printer. I've just seen the question. That row, well, the top hat turntable spool mod is a no for me. That row of holes, are they going to be enough of electronics ventilation? The answer is no, they are not. I put them in originally when I was having some overheating problems to see if it would be enough, just passive ventilation, and that was a solid no on that one. So I'm going to be putting a fan in, got a little noctua. And then for the hinge, we've got these pieces. So this fits over the top of one of the normal corner pieces, uses the same holes, and we'll just bolt through there, screw through there, using a slightly longer screw. And that gives us this hole here. We're going to put a threaded insert in here, and add that piece onto there, and that will then be our hinge with a screw. And I just realised that that might not hinge quite like I need it to. Oh dear, Adam, you've made a mistake there, haven't you? They're going the other way around. Oh, they're supposed to go the other way around. Yes, that's fine. Of course I didn't make a mistake. And then that goes down there, and that's a hinge, and those are going to just stick onto this original piece. So I don't have to reprint all of this top piece. We can just reuse what's already here. And then these parts of the door, there's 4 in each of the corners. That's what's used originally to hold the door down, hold the top down to the rest of the frame. I've just basically cut this flange piece off and cut this piece off, this kind of locating part off of 2 of them. So I've got some that are just blocks and some with blocks with a locator. And that should be enough to get this all modified nicely. So does Adam ever do 3D printing that isn't parts and upgrades for printers? I have actually, yes. I did quite a bit of printing for businesses. Obviously I don't show that stuff, so that's why you wouldn't have known about it. This doesn't fit terribly well, does it? What's that about that? I think that's the way, because it's got this thing here. So we've got a little cutout here on the corner of the thing, and that's for the hinge. Now we don't have that now for the back door, which is a little bit not perfect, because that's not going to sit down quite how we want it to. But you know what? I think it's going to be good enough. Yeah, that is the orientation. So it's these 2 on this side that have the no pin. Which way around was that? That was in that way around. So that's curved piece this way, that way, that way, that way. I think that piece is the one that goes here. These pieces are such an odd shape, it's very difficult to orientate them exactly right. Now I'm thinking this is wrong. Let's go back to this one. This one does look right. I'm not on it today, am I, with the camera? So that changes it so that those two no longer have locating pins. And then it's going to hinge up like so, what you can't see. It's going to hinge up sideways like so. Normally you would expect it to hinge backwards, but which there are hinge mods for already. But with a rear door, that becomes impractical. So we're going sideways. I don't think I have a stopper for my hinge, so it's just going to kind of be able to tilt all the way around, but that should be okay. Now we need to do some heated inserts. I move the jig, oh it's there. Okay. Just took out a bunch of heated inserts from parts I don't need earlier, so we can reuse some of those. No point using new ones because the old ones work just as well. So it looks like it would go there, but it doesn't. It goes right on the inside in here. Let's get you a bit of a closer view. Mylar. Which mylar are we talking about? That's it, just do those. Let's leave them to cool. Oh, yes. It actually works remarkably well. I mean, the downside is quite a large space, so unless you have quite a hot printer in there, it takes a little while to heat up, or doesn't get very hot. So the next thing now is to put these LEDs in the top of this. So they go in here in that orientation. And they go on top of these, which go this way around. So these are going to be taped on. They should all thread onto here. I think in the file I shared, I made the hole for threading a little bit wider. This is right on the edge of what would be good. So it's 4 there, gap in the middle for that, and then 4 there. And we can probably cut 2 off the end. I'm not going to need those. How does this happen? There we go. So again, some tape. I'm going to go back to VHB for this one. It's a bit more forgiving in terms of thickness, depth, etc. Hopefully we can cut this straight down the middle. What's the chances of that working? Oh, my camera angle's terrible today. Right. Pretty good. So that will then go, if I put it in the right place, yes. That cable will then be able to shift down through one of these holes. Maybe just the main one. And that cable is nice and out of the way. You can see it a little bit in the top corner, but not much at all. So that's going to go that way. And we can secure this down somewhere over here so it doesn't get stretched as the hinge opens. So now we can take a look at actually getting the hinge pieces installed. So this goes on here. The magnet needs to come out. So that will go somewhere like that. This goes on top of here. And then this goes onto here. And thus hinge. So I'll work out what screw we're going to stick in here. I planned for a cap head, but a button head I think will be okay. Going to need some Loctite. Because there's not any, the screw's not clamping anything. So we're just going to put it in and that Loctite will dry in place and keep that screw in a suitable position. Hopefully. What on earth is that? Piece of that 3M tape stuck to it. So we have way too many nuts in here now. We'll just have to put screws in the spare ones. So in fact, before I put those hinges on, let's work out what I'm going to do with this door. Because I'd quite like everything to match nicely. So if we can nice. As much as I dislike the amount of tape I've used, if I take it off, it's just going to look messier, so... Or should I say, attempt to take it off. I don't think I'd ever actually properly get it off. So that's a hinged top, which looks like that. It also means we've got these nice like textured patterns on the door hinges now, which kind of adds a bit of, I don't know, pizzazz. The flat matte, well, they're kind of shiny, but I think the texture looks nicer. So that's just a plain one. Don't need a hinge on that one. But I don't think I've printed one of those. So we need to print one of those. And this, have we done one of these? I'll have to put this back on, I think, rather carefully. And we're going to replace this as well. Other more different hinge. It's identical, but it's going to go here. For some reason, that magnet is from now. I think that's going to come out again straight away. No, that's okay. So let's see if we can get this mounted a little bit better. Problem with these holes on this one, I mean, it needs the magnets, but they're mounted in the door. So you can't get that contact pressure on the adhesive, so as a contact sensitive adhesive or contact pressure, I've forgotten the word again, pressure activated, you can't apply pressure to a large portion in the middle because of the big holes. The big holes. People dropping like flies tonight. We're less than 30 people. I don't remember the last time I did a stream with less than 30 people. I guess installing enclosure panels is not what people want to see. I'm guessing that's the hint. It's got to be done though, eh? Got to be done. I forgot to screw this hinge into here. So we need the middle one, top one, spruce. Just trying to get some of the goop off the screw, but it really doesn't matter, so I'm not going to bother. I think it's going to be easiest because we haven't got the no nuts mark. Oh! Wakey wakey Adam. Surprisingly difficult to point that camera in the right direction, you'd be surprised. Because it's sort of backwards. So, you need one down the middle, one in the bottom, one up here. This one here, this one. I suppose we could put the panel in place, couldn't we? Somewhere like this. These panels are way too thick. How has this happened? Well, I thought the LDO ones were 3mm, and these should be 3mm as well. Have I printed the wrong brackets? This does look thinner. It does 2.7. And that's 3. The depth of this piece is probably 2. So that's the wrong size. I'm going to have to redo those. So I'll just put this in place for now. Just making a note. What was the other thing I said I was going to do? I've forgotten that one already. Ah, yes. Oh, that's fine. So I'm going to have to redo all of these then, probably, aren't I? I'm guessing all of them are suitable for 2mm panel and not 3. What happens if we screw 3mm panel? Guess it just gets a bit bendy, doesn't it? That's probably what happens. Which is the exact problem I had with the last ones. Down to 20 people, 25 people. It's going to be deserted soon. Do we need to have a competition? Should we do a random printer giveaway? Just that would be funny, wouldn't it? People would be like, "Oh, I was watching that stream and then it and then I left." Right, I needed that door panel on, but I can't remember. Ah, yes, of course. Top hat hinge. So we're going to have to remove these current screws and use longer ones. It's only a fraction longer. Oh, I made slightly. I think my holes are a bit small. should be 3.5. I'm guessing I might have accidentally made them 3 or something. These things happen from time to time. Why is that not coming? The hell? Weird. By 10. We needed 12 really. And this one is 10, so we need a 12 there as well. And then we've got to need a corner piece for this. Don't seem to have, so we'll just reuse one for now. Okay, so that puts the hinges now in place. We should be able to put the top hat on. Bear in mind, I've never had this actually made before. We're going to need some tape on these. Chat is a bit dead today. Well, there's barely anyone watching for some reason. I don't remember the last time there's been this few people in a stream. Like, it's just unheard of. I don't know why. pretty good. Maybe YouTube's broken. Seems unlikely YouTube's actually broken, doesn't it? I mean, it does seem weird. Like, it's not just low, it's like abnormally low. Like very abnormally low. Phone says live. Who knows? I'm sure it'll be still valuable after the fact anyway, so there'll be plenty of people watching at another time, I'm sure. Just fewer people live. I'm guessing, yeah. I suppose if lots of people streaming at the same time, people can get a little bit tired of watching streams. They can't do that all day. Well. Anyway. Ta-da! I'd say that's pretty much exactly what I was expecting. And that has worked fantastically well. We've got a front door and we've got a back door. Oh, this is just... Yep. The weird creak on the back door is... Can you hear it? It's a bit weird, but who cares? It works. Oh, we've got a creak on the front door as well. Yeah, I think it's where the layer lines and maybe... Back door sounds haunted. Steady. And we've got nice access here. That's all good. The downside is I don't really have a stop for this. It just goes as far as... I mean, I think if we held it there for too long, the tape might come off. I mean, VHB tape, I know it's very difficult to remove, but I bet it's one of those things that it sticks all the time that you don't want it to and then stops sticking when you do want it to. That's just sod's law, right? It's the LED cable we've got to be a bit careful of, and that it doesn't interrupt the motion while it's motioning. What I might try is sticking this bit with a bit of tape here. If I double-sided that to there, and then just sticks right into the middle of the enclosure. Need some cable management. I mean, we can use this, but then it only opens to there. And that's not going to work because the panel's too thick. Oh no, that looks like it's actually designed for 3mm panel. That would sit exactly there. So if you wanted a handle, that's your option. I'd almost prefer, it would be just as good, I think, at the bottom there. Too late now, though. It's time for another promotional segment, so hopefully this doesn't scare the last people away. It's 2 minutes and then we'll be back. This video is sponsored by Big Tree Tech, Bondtech and Printy Please. The SKR Pico is a brand new control board from Big Tree Tech that, despite its tiny size, packs quite the punch, making it an ideal fit for a small form factor 3D printer like the Voron V0.1. A Raspberry Pi RP2040 chip is used as the main controller, with TMC 2209 stepper drivers for the X, Y, Z and E axis, with 2 plugs to support dual Z printers. The built-in heatsink gives a computer motherboard kind of styling and helps to cool the drivers a little bit too. Clipper has been considered in the design as well. A TPS 5450 gives up to 5 amps continuous current at 5 volts for a Raspberry Pi, and the included cable makes for easy installation via UART. There's also a replaceable fuse, thermistor short circuit protection, Japanese Murata capacitors, USB-C, and it matches the Raspberry Pi's footprint. You can get yours or find out more via the link in the description. The LGX Lite is a tiny new extruder from Bondtech, which implements their large gear design to provide increased filament grip. On the top, the filament pre-tension lever provides consistent and repeatable filament engagement, while the open sides gives access to all the gears, allowing for easy maintenance. 4 mounting patterns using M3 nuts provides plenty of mounting options, so its compact, light design and use of NEMA 14 stepper motor make it a great contender for direct drive on high-performance 3D printers. Find your local reseller via the link in the description. UK-based Printy Please specialises in parts and upgrades for 3D printers like the Voron V0 and 2.4. The kirigami bed, sun-on fans, titanium backers and spherical bearings are just some examples of the range of specialist parts available. Check out their shop via the link below. Right. So we can't actually finish the enclosure today because all of these clips and stuff that we need to hold it on are all the wrong size, unfortunately. So I'll probably reprint those and do that all off stream. I don't think there's much more to be gained. We've kind of done the modification parts. Everything else to install now is just the standard fit pieces. Doing lots of thinking. This was very difficult to plan, this one. Normally they're way less difficult. The LEDs are installed. Kirigami is installed. LGX Lite is installed. SKR Pico is installed. The new X-Rail installed. Top out hinge is installed. Rear door hinge is installed. No drop nuts we've done where we can. And we're not doing sun-on fans. So technically all the mods are now installed. Physically. That is all the things. It kind of still looks quite standard, but that was sort of the plan. I didn't want to make it into something that it's not. I just wanted to try and improve the features that were already there. I'm not one of those people that mods an Ender 3 into a Voron and goes, look, I've modded my Ender 3. No, you've built a Voron. Anyway. Could do some, let's get started on this wire management. There's quite a lot to deal with. Got these clips. I don't know how well these are going to hold without screws, because they can have quite a lot of torque applied when pulled, but maybe I won't pull them very much. That one's rubbish. I'm having a lot of difficulty with a tiny nozzle getting a good first layer on the rough bed. It just doesn't seem to like it. So I might go back to a 0.4 nozzle to do everything else. It's also difficult for me to decide if I'm going to, if I end up modifying this printer again or something in the future, but I've already cut the cables short, it then makes that job very difficult. Just want to try something. Now that I've got all the cables plugged in, I can just take it off the mount and rotate it and move it as I like, and you'll immediately get feedback on cable positions. Now I have already taped the thing down, but I didn't use too much. So these are the shortest ones, those and those. And this. So the shortest ones are going to the two complete opposite sides. So if you try and rotate it this way, those heater cables are way too short. If you try and rotate it the other way, those cables end up too short. Which is ultimately why I think I ended up on this orientation in the first place. I mean, that could be literally all that cable could just go, and that immediately makes it a lot tighter. Hello from the car wash. Watching this live stream from a car wash. I think that's the first time I've had that. So for everyone that is here at the moment, would you still agree that the weekday times have been better? Maybe I'll stop streaming at the weekend completely and I'll do the kind of midday-ish weekday ones. Ooh, can't get in now. John, I think you might be asking for a fight with a comment like that. Even I would disagree. Timing live streams is one of the most difficult pieces, because otherwise it's obviously the fact that it's live is like an important factor, and everyone's time zones are different, so there's just never one good time, so I end up moving it about and then everyone complains. In fact, to be fair, people generally don't complain, it's just they just don't turn up, which is fine. I've not got a problem with that really, but obviously I want to have people watching them, otherwise there's no point doing them. Maybe not no point, but I like to think they provide value, and if there's nobody here it's difficult to do that so much. Jazz. I like jazz. Go away. Obviously everyone likes different types of music, that's fair, it's not a problem. Definitely going to need a bunch more of these. But it looks like that method is going to work as it did previously. Just need a whole lot more of them. So organise that lot down that side. That's got to go in over here. And then we'll maybe tuck the stepper motor cables like in behind the control board or something. So we can keep them long-ish. Already looking miles better, I think. I wonder if I might have more of those clips just with the hole in them. I might have printed extras, I'm not sure. If I did, I probably would have kept them, but I might not. I probably printed and just used all the ones that I printed. Yeah, I can't see them. Dubstep. Jesus. Bloody bot's not much good if it flipping repeats the name every time though, does it? These screws are a bit dud, I think. You taking the piss? Maybe this is why there's no viewers, because YouTube's having problems with bots. And they're taking drastic measures. The bots are absolutely ridiculous today. And yesterday. In fact, they have been all week. It's just got so bad. When I started streaming, there was like none at all, and now it's constant. It must be terrible for large streamers. They must have such a problem. Okie dokie. That's looking pretty good. It's weird how wobbly it is with tape, isn't it? But it's starting to look quite a bit tidier, I think. I don't think I'm going to go much longer. We'll see. If I had printed more clips, then I could have done more, maybe. What I could do is change the nozzle on the lots of people coming over from Steve by the look of it. I'm going to get this bed down if I can. Just realised there's an enormous blob of filament attached to the hot end. That may have been what interrupted my previous print. I didn't notice it. I don't know what the LEDs are going to do. We can try wiring them up. I don't think, in fact, am I going to be able to, how do I powering this? I could just turn it on, I suppose. Nothing bad should happen. Nothing literally should happen. Trouble is, I don't think there's going to be anything pre-programmed on the LEDs. Like, there's no firmware or anything installed, so I don't think anything's going to happen. There's probably nothing to see. JST connectors. Look how many of these I had to buy. I've literally got, look, can you see? This entire thing full of them. It's like, I think I bought like 1,000 or something. Because their stocks and whatnot are low, so they weren't selling anything in low quantities. If you wanted any sort of decent price, you had to just buy 1,000 or something. So I've got enough JST terminals to last me the rest of my life, probably. Why do I need a catto or doggo? To get in the way while I'm on the stream. I have considered getting a dog before, but I've never owned a dog, so. Right, now, I'm going to assume that I wired these sensibly, and black is ground, red is plus 5 volts, and green is signal. Thank you, Christiansen, for the 45, is that Danish kroner? You've said for the rest of your life, you're planning retirement. Well, 1,000's a lot of terminals. Gonna need the oh, did I not set this to 2 on? Oh, I forgot to press enter. No, why is it not heating up? Hello? Oh, was this trying to home and it's failed homing or something? Because it seems like it's stuck trying to do this. Let's just... That doesn't look good. I'm missing a lot of things now. Hello? I think I might have broke it. So it's ground this side. So that's going in that way. And it would be ground this side. Yeah, I don't think there's any point me turning this on though, because without even any firmware or anything, this literally nothing will happen. I'm 90% sure. Did you upgrade it today? Many issues with Moonraker. No, I haven't. I've heard though, so I'm avoiding updating. Here we go. There's been a Python update that's, I think, something to do with Moonraker. The interface between Clipper and the interface. It's made a bit of a mess of things as far as I can tell. Okay. There we go. Let's get this heated up as well. Let's move this much further down. That was very far down. We're going to remove the nozzle and put in a 0.4 again. Unless I already did that and that's why it's... That might be why it's failing so much. Oh, I already put the 0.4 nozzle back in and I've been printing with 0.25 profiles. I think that's what's happened. That's why nothing's been printing well. Although these clips came out pretty well, considering they must have a tiny amount of filament compared to what they should. I suppose it doesn't What the hell is going on with that temperature? What the flip? What the flip is going on with that entire graph? Sorry, you can't see. There's weird steps. Right. I don't know what's going on, but unless it's like auto-updated or something daft, and that's what's screwing the pooch or something. Should we check the updates? How about that? It's in here in the update manager. No, it looks like I'm due updates. RatOS theme, system OS packages are up to date, unless it's come in that automatically. System load. Looks like a basically 0. Well, so a few clips. Let's have a go at that. I can't believe I was printing the 0.25 profile with the 0.4 nozzle. How? How did I even get something that resembled a print? I'm amazed how well it did now. It just makes no sense. Anyway. I'm going to try plugging this in on the off chance that the LEDs happen to light up. As I said, about 99% sure that it won't. It will just not do anything because there's nothing configured. But at least if I try, and then we'll know for sure. Oh shit! as expected, a whole load of diddly squat. There's a big red light in the middle, and that's it. So we do have to configure all the firmware as expected before that will do anything. So let's look how convenient that is to open the top. Push this right to the front corner, we can get this to an appropriate length hopefully. Hello, Nuno. Oh yeah, the no magic smoke is definitely good. That's always a nice sign. I normally make a bigger deal out of the first time turning it on, but seeing as it's mods and not a fresh build, it seemed a bit over the top. I quite like when you just cut with these and it just whoop, shoots off. Goodbye, zip tie. Grumble, grumble. I'm just trying to think where I can, what's an appropriate length for this cable so that I don't make it too short. If I do that and then I bring it down through a clip that I put down here and then back up to the top, it's more cable than I need, but it means that the total length will be like this, which means it should be able to go anywhere in the enclosure. So that's probably more appropriate. So I want that length, so that plus that goes to there. So that to there, back up to there, maybe a bit more. I know that was going to here, so a bit less, a bit there, back there. Okay, and I'm going to replace this sticker to remind me of motor currents. There's that. 4-pin. We get the tool back out again. How are we doing this time? Looking a bit more betterer. Easier, closer up. We have had lots of new subscribers today. I guess that's helped counteract the enormous number of bots. Okay, so make sure we wire it up the same. Blue. Yellow. Green. And red. So we'll put a cable management thingy down there. That comes back up there. Bosh, straight in the top there. Bada bing, bada boom. This enormous loop here is a little bit annoying. It's quite large. Yeah, okay. Right. I'm starting to be quite happy with this. Oh, I think that wiring setup's looking... It's verging on acceptable now, isn't it? I mean, this obviously needs some clips. I think they will be good and ready for setting up firmware and stuff next time. Pi 0 is going to float up here somewhere. That's a good point. Actually, I should have, I'm not sure if these screws are going to work. It's a bit of a gamble. They are shorter than I remember. So the other cable, of course, is the one that we get included with the Pico, and that's going to go in that connector there, which is set up specifically for the Pi, which I've just soldered this header on earlier today. That'll stack up there nicely. This through here, this through here. Hopefully this other screw will still go in here okay, even though we've had a different type of screw already in that hole. If not, we could be a little bit in a bit of a pickle. Covers up the Big Tree Tech logo, unfortunately, but that was a bit of a kind of style looking quite nice, but it's now gone. Yeah, if I was doing this from scratch and was doing all the cables at any length, I would probably have rotated this and put it portrait, but it really doesn't matter very much. Oh, this printing is looking so much nicer. Kind of just waiting for the print. Don't know how much I can improve of this now. I mean, there's always a risk that when I start configuring firmware, I have to change something for some reason. Hopefully not. What we can do, I've just remembered, is this fan. There's a fan 3 header there. That's going to be the wrong voltage, isn't it? And hopefully I think there's another. And we need a 5 volt next to a ground on the Pi. I've lost connection to the printer again. It really is not going well. So we've got 5 volts, these two, and those are the ones that are being used, the input. So it doesn't look like there's another 5 volt on here. Yes. That's mildly annoying. I wonder what there is on the BTT Pico. Oh, that's the wrong repositories. The end stops have 5 volts. Or what are those other fans? We'll say 5 volts. Ah, and we've just plugged them into the fan headers. Well, that's not going to work. We can't do that. These are 12, 24 volts. That's why they were separated before. Hot end fan, part fan. We've got to be careful with these because these fans are not 12 volts. Can't remember if which ones are 5. Oh dear. This makes things a bit more of a pickle, doesn't it? We might end up the laser port is Raspberry Pi. They've labelled it as laser. We could go back to doing this method and put that 5 volt power supply back in. And then we can use the 5 volt on the laser port. Oh, there's 2 laser ports. There's a laser port on the left, this one over here. This is the 5 volt. This laser is Raspberry Pi. And this laser is obviously the laser. I don't know why this is also labelled laser. Well, yeah, I've got the 5-volt power supply that was in the Voron already, so I might just use that. Is this? This is part of the LDO V0 kit. 50 watts converter. I think we might just end up putting that back in. And then the USB. Is that the right way around? That's that way around, which is going to be a tight squeeze to get to there, I think. Should reach. I can't believe I'm just finding this stuff now. Which means redoing all of this, because this is going to be in the way. And we're going to put this back in. Oh, come on. No, it just want to go there. And there, that over there, that up there. And it doesn't fit. Of course it doesn't fit. Oh man alive. That's the wrong one. That's a lot of strain that I don't want on that. Why can't it just be simple, eh? Things were looking so optimistic. Do as I say, not as I do. Right, so that's going to power the Pi, which means we don't have this port over here, which means that connector is not going to be used, which means the fans can then have, I can't remember, I need to check now the LDO. Because we need to know what voltage the fans are. So the blur fans are 24 volts, so they're okay. So that's the part cooling fans, 24 volts. That's all good. So that can go back in here. And the other one though, did have a splitting connector on, and we now have to get that back, even though we took it off before, because we need to put it into the laser port to get 5 volts. And we're going to have to do the same. What was I've forgotten the other thing that I needed to do this for. Oh, this other fan, isn't it? So that's going to go in there, and then we're going to keep the sense cable there. We'll just use this. We'll end up configuring this as fan 3. Hopefully we can get JST terminals on this tiny little wire. Looks like it's just about gripping. So we need a 2-pin JST XH. Shouldn't do that. One day I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go all over the place. So this is going to connect to the negative pin. Because it switches on the negative side, so that goes in there. And then this goes into the other 5-volt connection on here. Now it might be that we actually don't need this, but if we're going to drive the drivers, if we're going to go a bit crazy with the drivers for the faster printing, then some fan is probably a good idea. So I don't know where that's going to go. Can't put it on the door, it's too far away. Everywhere around here is jammed full of stuff. Interesting. I want it there. The reality is it might end up being quite a way away from where it's actually needed, just because there's no space. If we put it where there's loads of wires, all the airflow is just going to get eaten by wires. Might end up just going down there. You can't see any of that. So Daisy. Can't see that either. What is this camera pointing at? It's so blue, isn't it, that one? Perspective. The clamps are done, and they're infinitely better than the previous ones. Apart from, I think I printed them a bit too close to the bed. If I was patient, I'd just let them cool down, and they'd have come off. But I'm not patient today. There you go, now they're cool. I could do, I don't have a good quality 24-volt fan, that's the problem. I wanted one that was not going to be hugely noisy. So that's why I ended up with this noctua. We're definitely over extruding. Not sure why. Oh, I think I changed the idler tension for printing TPU. That's probably why. So hopefully we can get these in a sensible position. Damn, it's 10:30 now. Right, that's 4, 3. Question is, where do we put them to get the best use out of them? One's definitely got to go in here. Can't pull that back through now. Just looks really overexposed, doesn't it? Yeah, that's quite a long way from where that airflow is needed, but hopefully, given that the panel is also right on top of it, that should be channeled over approximately the right area, maybe a bit. Now, as we don't have the UART cable now, we've now got to go back to USB for the control board, so we're going to need the USB cable. Hopefully this is long enough. USB-C. Oh, it's not USB-C! We need a USB-C to micro USB cable now. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? Oh man! I really cannot win. I presume the 5 volts for the end stops is going to be too much to power a there's not going to have enough for a fan. Because that'd normally be just for like an LED or something, is it? We're in a bit of a pickle. This would work, but it's to type A, and there's no, unless I have a type A to micro USB adapter. Which I might have, actually, as it happens. In my box of things that are for Raspberry Pis, that might be one right there, top of the box. Look at that. It's not the one I was thinking of. This is also an option. This is what I was thinking of, but that's HDMI, so that's not... Oh, that I think is a Wi-Fi adapter. So much pie in the pot. So that is what I'm thinking of. Well, that's what I found. I think that's the right connector. So you put that end right in there. And now you've got a micro USB connection. Well, it's in. The other option was this, and that's a bit... might have been better. This one will turn out to be like power only or something daft. This doesn't feel like the right solution, does it? I wonder if they've got some instructions on the fan connectors and how much current you can put through it. And motherboard wiring. Not really. I wonder if I'll be able to read this enough. Fans, power supply, RGB, RGB, that's stepper motors, that's USB, switch, end stop, 5 volts, which I assume is coming from the 5 volts. Where's that chip on here? It is just connected to 5 volts, so there shouldn't be any other limit. I might switch again. And we'll connect the fans to the end stop pins because why the hell not? We don't need the 5 volts for the end stops, but the cable's not going to reach. So we can't really do that even if we wanted to, unless we try and route the cable differently. I'm not sure that's going to reach in a month of Sundays. Oh, this is just nightmare after nightmare, isn't it? How am I having such bad luck? Well, it's not really luck, is it? Let's be honest. feel like I'm missing something. Let's try this, see if I can get it to reach. If I can get it to reach, I think we're just going to pull directly from the fans, and then we can, because otherwise I just feel like we've added in a million cables just because we can't use this 5-volt connector and there are other ones available. So. End stop. So this is the one we're going to use. X end stop. I kind of wanted to go underneath, I think. If we can still have space under there. It's probably not now. I think it's just about going to be long enough. Kind of cheating, but it does work. I think. I'm pretty sure it'll work, right? There's no reason why it won't. 5 volts is 5 volts. Doesn't matter where it comes from. Right. Okay, now we need this other pin out. That's going to go into one of the other end stops. That's going to go into Y end stop. Because, you know, why the hell not? See what I did there? Clever patterns. It actually might be, so let's not let's not even say that. I feel like we've just changed everything around and back to what it was at the start now, but I'm literally doing cable management with tweezers. That's what I've come to today. Right, noctua on fan 3. 5 volts from the Y end stop. Other 5 volts from the X end stop. Now we can take out this converter that we put in earlier. Yay! Is this going to be... You're not going to believe it. Oh, it just doesn't... It doesn't close. Oh. Help me. I need to make these pillars shorter. Oh, this is just hilariously bad. It's not really bad. There's nothing really bad. It's literally just, nobody, I think, well, I've not seen anyone do this before. So there's no real guide on how tall to make things, how wide to do stuff. And I can't really pre-try things like physically fit them because I'm kind of doing it on the stream. Like I mean, it does. No, the door doesn't close. But there is a gap in here. I made these pillars taller than they need to be. It's fine, it's fine. Nobody panic. Nobody panic, don't panic! Stop panicking! Oh dear. Wow, we've been going for 3.5 hours now, so it's probably time for me to take a break and sleep. And then work tomorrow, and then we'll try again. I might be able to do one in the afternoon tomorrow. I really need to work on a video though, so we might not carry on now until Tuesday. I'm sure you can wait a day, and we'll go back to the 3 PM time probably, which seems to work better for many people as well. And that's just kind of funny that it doesn't quite fit. It's just a pretty good summary for my experiences today, isn't it? I'll take out this USB cable though. Oh dear. The magnets just about have enough attraction at a minute, but it's like a 5mm gap. Problem is this connection with these pins is just super tall. You don't realise sometimes how long some of these connectors are. What do you think? Tidiness wise, I think we're improving all the time. It looks a bit of a mess, doesn't it? How did it start looking a mess? It was looking good earlier. Let's get that LED cable tucked back under there. That back under there. Check that there's still room up here. No, there isn't. Ow, hit myself in the head with a lid. Right. I'm not doing software now. I'm way too tired to do that. It's end of stream now. We're all done for today. Thanks everyone for joining in. It's been a bit of a slower one today, and I've got quite a bit to do. 3mm panel clips and sort of a bit more of the cables out maybe. Slightly shorter pillars by just a few millimeters, and then we should be good. That'll fit nicely after that. So just some hiccups along the way, but I think the final outcome will still be blooming fantastic. Excited to see it, to be honest. A couple more episodes and we'll be there. Yeah, a couple more episodes. Well, one more. Hopefully next stream will be firmware and first print. So I'll try and fix this stuff between now and then, if I can. And yeah, firmware setup next stream. And then after that, we'll try to do a speed benchy stream and see how fast we can make it go. I don't know how well we'll do. I've not much experience in trying to print really, really fast, so it'll be a bit of a new experience for me. But I think it could be quite fun, so check Discord. Do I need to check it now before I stop? No, don't worry about it. That's fine. Thank you. Thank you for offering. That's kind of you. Right. Good stuff. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you in the next one. Hopefully this was useful. And thank you, of course, to the sponsors for sponsoring. Check out their links in the video description. Big Tree Tech for the SKR Pico. Bondtech for the LGX Lite extruder. And of course, Printy Please, who provided the kirigami bed. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Good night, good day, goodbye, and all of that.